So the truth is, there is no other device that I own that has made me as much money as this one single device. Not only has it made me a ton of money, but it has saved me even more in labor and stuff like that. I use it almost every single day of the week. We use it so much that I bought a second one as a backup, and sometimes I've got two of them running. It actually changed how we do a big chunk of our business as well, all from this one single tool. Hey, it's Don. Today I wanted to address probably the best reselling tool we personally have ever had. It's the best investment I ever made into buying a tool, a device to help my business. Not only has this item made us a ton more money, it has also saved us a vast amount of funds from labor we would have had to have spent. My business changed once we started using this device. It changed for the better. It improved in sales. We cut down our labor costs across the board. I don't recommend hardly anything unless I personally use it, and this is something that I've used for at least 5 years. The same two devices, I haven't had issues with them. They're workhorses. And I know if you're not into paper as much as us, this may seem like a stupid investment in something that's not going to make you much money. But let me put the pros and cons list together for you on this. This is a used unit. I couldn't even tell you when it was made. We've had it for 5 years or better. We spent about $120 for this unit here used. New, this device, it's an Epson DS 510, was like $300 or $400. We got a used one off of eBay with the cords. All the software was easily found online for free from the company itself. Now this is a DS scanner is what this is called. That means double-sided. It does both sides of whatever you slide through here. I'll show you it working. I'm going to show you the key to this thing here, the why this is such a huge draw for our business and why it changed. We used to sell all kinds of stuff and have to take tons of photos. Clothing was a time killer, and I do mean a time killer for the amount of profits we would get from the clothing itself. It wasn't worth the while around here for the minuscule amount of table scraps we got because everybody else fought for that stuff. And a ton of other things, books and all sorts of other things, even toys. All that takes time. We try to limit our photographic time to 5 photos for an item. If it needed more, we'd take them, but if we could get away with fully showing the item 5 or less. An album, an LP, that you show the front and back of the cover, front and back of the record, and then a group shot, that's 5. A toy, the same thing, 4 sides, a top shot or something, or a close-up or something, 5. That was our limit, trying to efficiently manage time. Well, once we got the duplex scanner, you can have one plugged into your laptop or PC 24/7, so you buy something, you click the on button and you slide it right on in, and boom, you're scanning pretty much immediately. You set it up, you save the settings, and it instantly goes to a file where you can get it up on eBay, whatever the paper item is, in a very quick time. In a matter of a minute or so, I can go from walking in the door to having an item ready to go and list on eBay that quick. And no other device that I'm aware of. A phone, yeah, if you list from your phone, you can take a couple images and stuff like that, but I'm not a phone person. It doesn't offer all the other benefits and details that I can on the actual desktop version. The phone version has limited functionality. It's missing a lot of features. It's also missing some options to edit some of the features that are on there. If you use custom SKUs, you can only get to that through editing the title. And last I looked, it's been a little while, maybe they've added it now, but you couldn't change or mess with some of that sort of thing from the app. Again, it's missing features. It doesn't show everything. It doesn't show the same thing that a desktop version would in many cases. So for me, it's using it there. The duplex scanner, I can scan, geez, as fast as I can feed it, I can scan and image both sides of it and instantly have something ready to go. Hundreds of them in just a matter of a few minutes can be scanned through that scanner. It's literally that quick. So we've changed our business and are listing more of the items that can go through. 8x10 photos. Anything below 8x10 and 8x10 themselves all will fit through there. If you try to take a photograph of them, many times the light will add a reflection and all things like that. The duplex scanner doesn't use the lights the same way. It has a glass plate on both sides of the item, so it can scan them both. It doesn't leave that glare or that reflection. It'll also fix a skew. So if you're taking photos of stuff and it's not quite lined up, you have to manually straighten it to have the horizon right at the top of the whatever image you're selling. You may be, slightly angled to the wrong direction and it's skewed downwards or skewed back into the background or something. So there's all sorts of reasons why the scanner is 10 times better. No matter what, it is so much faster than trying to use a flatbed or a camera, in my opinion, because again, it's a second or two. By the time I don't even have to flip the item over. So if you've got to flip something over, straighten it back up, line it back up, take a picture, it takes time. The scanner, though, still gets rid of any shadowing, any bumps, or anything else. If it's a little wavy, the paper, it gets rid of that. It's a flat, straight image, and the whole works. If you're careful as well on one of these DS scanners, you can get odd-shaped items, small items to almost the size of a tobacco trade card, like one of the T100 series or the earliest series that they go back. It can do almost anything like that. Paper from print ads, postcards, letterheads. There are other items where you can get a sheet that you can slide the item into, a clear sheet, and that sheet goes through the machine without any problems. Now our scanner, the 510, DS510 here, there's many versions newer than that are just as good, if not better than this one, but this version has a setting where you can adjust the thickness of the item. On occasion, which you should never do, we forgot a staple and it ran through and scanned the item just fine, even with the staple in it. Now, as long as you keep it clean, you don't abuse it, that's going to last you a very long time. It's been like 5 years we've been using this unit, and we've probably scanned a couple 100,000 items through that. So it's been a workhorse in these years, and it saved us a ton of time, as I said. But we're going to hop over and we'll look at it in action so you can physically see how quick and easy this is. The speed at which the cards or whatever you are scanning goes through the scanner is based on the DPI that you use. So if you use a real low DPI, this thing sucks them in so quick that I can't even hand feed it. It'll be pulling one through before I can even get a second one up there. So I think we came up at 600 DPI was like the ideal one. If you're scanning something bigger, and you can get away with doing a lower DPI. Let's say you're doing 8x10 photos, you can do a 75 DPI and it'll be just about right. So I set the DPI on this one just for that reason. That was the biggest take on that one. So it's going to start scanning. You're going to have one ready before it pulls the first card through. Otherwise, it can pull it through too quickly depending on the speed that you have it set at. So this is the trick here. You've got to be able to do it quick enough to pull them through. This speed actually isn't too bad today. And it depends on what you're scanning, how quick it pulls it through, and all that kind of stuff. I hand feed it when I'm doing it with this scanner. It's just the way I've done it. Everybody does it that way. That way there's no issues. If you run into one that doesn't scan, I flip it in a different direction. And I'm hoping maybe we'd get one just to show you, but you can see how quickly this actually goes when you're scanning them. I pull off them as I do it too. You get the hang of doing this if you've done a ton of these. If the cards are thicker, there is a thicker setting. You can set it to thick, and it will allow you to do some thicker items. As long as you keep getting it in before it stops, there's a certain gap. If it sees a certain amount of gap with no card in there, it will go ahead and shut it off. So let's just keep going. Let's see if we get one that jams up. It doesn't look so far we are. Yeah, sometimes if you don't have them sit on the side, they will tilt when you put them in. You can kind of smash it down a little bit to the right size. Doesn't look like we'll get any that are going to jam out on us today. But this is literally all there is to it. Now, see, they all went through. Now, some of these are fairly thickly embossed. But that's about it with the scanner. If it jams up or something, it'll flash. You do this, pop it up, and then you take out whatever you need. We do have all the other tools that you could imagine. I've got a specific 35mm slide scanner. We've got an 8mm film scanner for motion picture, home movies and things like that. I've got a very nice flatbed that also does negatives. It has a double plate of glass on the top lid and on the bottom. And then I've got several cameras, including a 4K one, Nikon, Sony, the top brands. But this Epson scanner here does far better for us because the setup time is nil, nothing, and you just have one sitting there in the counter all the time. The speed that it does it is incredibly fast. Depending on the DPI you set it down, if you set it down to 75, you can't even feed it quick enough. You won't be able to keep up with the scanner scanning stuff. So you can 100 items or more in a minute. I mean, it's insanely quick. Labor-wise, if you're talking labor, you can cut out an entire 40 hours of someone's work if you do a bunch of scanning or photographs of items that could have went through the duplex scanner. So it has truthfully changed our business. As well, I said it has made us more money. When we scan things through it, the image is very fine quality. It's bright, it looks just like the item. We don't have to edit it at all. And we do zoom-ins on many of the more expensive items, which means we upload another image for our main image of the best part of the item, and we show a blow-up of just that item. And the scans just do extremely well with portraying the true look of the item. You can tweak all of that too. You can set up all sorts of things. It fixes skews, it aligns it correctly. All sorts of different things can be done with that scanner. And again, there's no other tool that I own that has done as much for my business as that duplex scanner. Hands down. Again, I don't like to recommend. There will be links to get one of these, or at least show you the way to pick out one that's good for you. It is the only item that I would say that I would use for postcards and trade cards and print ads and everything, labels, whatever I sell, the majority of it goes through there. If it doesn't, it probably sits around for a little while longer because it takes more time to do it. Quick is best. Listing as much items you can in the same amount of time is obviously the best deal, and that will make you the most money. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Walks downstairs with owner in pairs and makes the slinkety sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky. Everyone knows it's Slinky.
Slinky sold separately in metal and plastic.